I'm Alex. I grew up in a small neighborhood in an ordinary family. My father was a lawyer, my mother a teacher. But what fascinated me was different. Missing items, mysterious events, unsolved secrets. My first detective experience started with our neighbor's lost cat. The basement was dark, dusty, and damp. I examined every box, every corner carefully. When I noticed the tiny paw prints, my heart raced. The satisfaction I felt when I found the cat determined the path of my life. Every trace tells a story, I told myself that day. During school, while my friends played outside, I investigated lost objects and strange events. One day, I found an old letter in the library mentioning a music box that had gone missing years ago. Solving it revealed the thief's identity. That moment made me realize this wasn't just a game, it was a real responsibility. Those years taught me one thing. Curiosity can both endanger and guide a person through life. I attended university abroad. The city was vast, the streets crowded, and crimes were hidden. My first real homicide case involved my friend Daniel going missing. The police were helpless, but the small clues I noticed led me to find him safely. I still remember that night. I examined the cafe's security cameras, noted what friends had said, and eventually tracked him to an abandoned warehouse. When I found Daniel, fear and relief mingled in his eyes. "Alex, if you weren't here," he said. "Don't worry, we're getting out of here," I replied. During that time, I began following hidden crimes across the city. In an art gallery robbery, nothing seemed out of place at first, but a visitor's keen observation of a slightly misaligned painting led to catching the thief. That day I learned, even the smallest detail can reveal the biggest clue. In my final university year, a small murder in my neighborhood caught my attention. An elderly woman had been killed in her home. Broken glass, rearranged flowers in the garden, and tiny footprints suggested the killer had used a secret path. Following these traces led to solving the case, and I realized detective work wasn't just about catching criminals. It was about understanding human psychology and showing empathy. After graduation, I joined the city police department as a detective. Those early days were exciting and challenging. The city itself was a labyrinth, with mysteries waiting to be solved on every corner. My first major homicide case involved a prominent businessman found dead in his home. The crime scene was chaotic. Family members' statements conflicted, and there were no clear clues. I noted every detail. A frame slightly moved, a book left on the table, a faint perfume stain. By connecting these small details, I uncovered a tangled family conspiracy behind the murder. I realized detective work required patience and attention, not just intelligence. Another unforgettable case was the theft at a prestigious gallery. Valuable paintings were gone. The alarm system had triggered, but there were no traces. At the scene, I examined the gallery carefully. One painting was slightly crooked. On closer inspection, paint smudges on the floor and a visitor's observation revealed the thief's path. That night, I entered the gallery quietly through the back door and found the hidden paintings. The thief had no chance to escape. Delivering the painting to its owner, I saw the gratitude in their eyes, a reward in itself. Over the years, I handled many missing person cases. One day, a little girl went missing. The police were hopeless, and the family desperate. I combined clues, a small shoe left in a park, security footage, and witness statements. Following the traces, I found the girl safely. Seeing her terrified but relieved eyes reminded me that detective work isn't just catching criminals, it's saving lives. The hardest lesson I learned was the emotional toll of the job. A detective doesn't only see the criminal's darkness, but also confronts their own. Sometimes at night, looking at photographs from solved cases, I ask myself, who am I? Has this job shaped me, or have I been shaped by it? Each case taught me that understanding human nature and balancing your inner darkness are as important as solving the crime. Being a detective meant constantly testing my limits. Threats, betrayals, and close encounters with death were part of the job. One organized crime case made me realize someone was trying to trap me. That moment tested not only my intelligence but also my courage and attention. Late at night, I tracked the criminals through abandoned city streets. Cold wind hit my face, footsteps echoing softly on the stones. At first, everything seemed dark and dangerous, but by noticing a subtle clue, I turned the situation around. The criminals were caught, and the case resolved. Another unforgettable case involved a kidnapped child. The police were hopeless, the family desperate. I pieced together the clues. A small shoe left in a park, CCTV footage, and witness testimonies. Following the trail, I found the child unharmed. That moment reaffirmed the meaning of my profession. Detective work wasn't just about catching criminals. It was about saving lives. I learned that detective work affects the soul. Seeing humanity's darkest sides could shake one's faith in people. Sometimes I question myself, who am I? Am I keeping my humanity intact? But every life saved, every criminal caught, and every mystery solved shed light on my own darkness. Detective work was about understanding others and facing your inner shadows. Once, a police officer I trusted tried to set a trap for me. Initially shocked, I pieced together the clues and realized the betrayal. Carefully planning my next moves that night, I protected both myself and the innocent. I understood that detective work requires intelligence, caution, courage, and strategy. Sometimes the cost was confronting death, but careful steps could ensure justice and save lives. Now I'm retired. Years of cases, solved mysteries, and dangerous encounters, they linger in my mind, forming a full picture of my life. At night, I open old files, photographs, and police reports. Some cases were tragic, some surprising, some unsolved. Each one taught me a lesson. One evening, I opened an old file about a missing child. Looking at the documents, I remembered solving it. The child's eyes, filled with fear and relief, reminded me of my work's meaning: saving lives, protecting people, and delivering justice. I asked myself, what have I learned all these years? The answer was simple. People may lie, but their actions always reveal the truth. Patience, attention, empathy, courage. That's the essence of true detective work. I remembered another case, the art gallery theft. A tiny detail had led to catching the culprit. I realized that the smallest clues can make the biggest difference when viewed carefully. I closed my eyes and recalled old days. Daniel's disappearance, neighborhood murders, threats, betrayals, all of them shaped me. Retirement wasn't just the end of my career. It was the conclusion of an inner journey. Now I can advise new detectives. Observe every detail, but never forget the big picture. Pay attention to human behavior. Traces never lie. Be brave, but stay vigilant. My life, seen through a detective's eyes, was a journey full of secrets, but deeply meaningful. Every case, every person, every danger taught me a lesson, and each lesson made my life richer, deeper, and more meaningful. I looked out the window one last time. The city lights shimmered in the distance. I closed my eyes and smiled faintly. Even if not every mystery is solved, every trace tells a story, and I was at the heart of these stories.